Have you ever felt this way? You open your eyes on a cold winter morning, and something feels heavier than usual. The air in the room is chilled, your joints are stiff, and even lifting your head from the pillow seems to take more effort. You tell yourself it is just the cold settling into your bones, nothing more than another winter day. But sometimes the body whispers before it ever shouts. A patient of mine once shared an experience like this. She woke up during a sudden temperature drop with a tight feeling along her jaw and a light wave of dizziness she could not explain. She wrapped herself in a warm robe, thinking it was simply the freezing air outside. She made breakfast slowly, hoping the feeling would fade, but it stayed with her through the morning. What she didn't know was that the cold snap had placed extra stress on her circulation and blood pressure. Those subtle signs were early neurological messages that something inside her needed attention. I want you to imagine this. The temperature outside falls sharply overnight. The cold grips your skin the moment you step outside, and your heart begins working harder to keep blood flowing to your organs. Your blood vessels tighten. Your blood thickens slightly in the cold. Pressure builds. These changes happen quietly, often without dramatic symptoms. For older adults, those silent shifts can increase the risk of a stroke long before they feel anything alarming. After more than 30 years of caring for seniors, I have seen how winter brings its own set of challenges. Stroke emergencies always rise when temperatures drop suddenly. I have witnessed the patterns in homes, clinics, and emergency rooms across the country. The cold affects heart function, circulation, and the brain more powerfully than people realize. That is why I created this video. My goal is to help you understand why cold weather increases stroke dangers, what early warning signs to look for, and the practical steps you can take to stay safe this winter. Knowledge is empowerment, and when you understand your body's signals, you give yourself the gift of protection. Before we move into the next part, please subscribe, like, and share Senior Health Daily to support this community. Your engagement helps us reach more people who need this information. Why? Cold weather raises stroke risk. When winter settles in and temperatures begin to drop, most people think about icy sidewalks, frozen car windshields, or the need to bundle up before stepping outside. What they do not realize is that cold weather places a tremendous amount of stress on the body, especially for older adults. The first thing that happens when you are exposed to cold temperatures is the tightening of your blood vessels. This natural reaction is your body's way of conserving heat. It squeezes the vessels, pushing blood toward your vital organs to keep them warm. But when all that pressure builds in your arteries, your heart has to work harder than usual, and your blood pressure rises almost instantly. When blood vessels constrict, the thickness of your blood matters even more. Cold temperatures make blood slightly more viscous, meaning the blood flows more slowly and is more likely to form clots. When I explain this to my patients, I often compare it to honey. Warm honey flows smoothly, but when you put it in the refrigerator, it becomes thicker and slower. Your blood behaves the same way. In warm weather, it moves easily. In cold weather, especially during sudden temperature drops, it becomes denser. This combination of thicker blood and constricted blood vessels creates the perfect storm for stroke dangers. The heart pumps harder to push blood through tighter vessels, increasing pressure in the brain. In older adults who already have age-related changes to arteries, this sudden shift can be especially dangerous. From a scientific standpoint, the autonomic nervous system also plays a role. This part of your body helps regulate your heart rate, blood pressure, body temperature, and internal balance. Sudden cold shocks disrupt this system, causing dramatic fluctuations. Your heart might beat faster for a moment. Your blood pressure might jump unexpectedly. Oxygen levels may shift in your brain as circulation adjusts. For younger adults, the body recovers quickly. For seniors, that recovery is slower, which means even small temperature drops can have outsized effects. I have come across many patients throughout my career who felt completely unaware that winter could influence their risk of stroke. One man in his 70s loved to shovel snow every morning after a storm. He told me it made him feel strong and useful. One morning, After a particularly sharp drop in temperature, he went outside to clear the driveway. Halfway through, he felt a wave of dizziness sweep through him. Instead of stopping, he pushed through it. Later that afternoon, he came into the urgent care center with numbness down one arm and a crushing pressure in his jaw. He had experienced a mild stroke. He told me afterward that he had no idea cold weather could strain his heart and brain the way it did. Another woman came into my office during January complaining of headaches that felt like someone was pressing a hand firmly on her forehead. She noticed it happened every time the temperature plunged suddenly. Her blood pressure was higher on those days, and her heart was working harder to keep her warm. Those headaches were not random. They were early signs that her circulation was under stress. She recognized them early enough to get help and make changes before a major event occurred. As winter deepens, these patterns become more common. Cold weather is more than a seasonal inconvenience. It is a physiological challenge that requires awareness, especially for seniors. Once you understand how your body responds to cold, it becomes easier to catch the early clues before they become dangerous. Hidden winter warning signs. One of the most important lessons I have learned from caring for older adults is that the body often provides quiet clues before something serious happens. These clues are easy to miss, especially in the winter when people tend to blame everything on the cold. I cannot tell you how many times a patient has sat in front of me saying, "I just thought it was winter fatigue," or, "I figured I was just tired from the cold." Morning heaviness is one of the earliest signs I tell my patients to watch for. On cold mornings, it is normal to feel a little stiff, but when you feel unusually weak or weighed down, that is something different. That kind of heaviness may be the result of blood vessels constricting during sleep, making it harder for oxygen-rich blood to reach the brain. Some seniors describe it as feeling like they slept in a heavy coat or like their limbs belong to someone else. Jaw or facial tightness is another quiet warning sign. During cold weather, blood flow to facial nerves can change, creating tension in the jaw or cheeks. Many seniors assume it comes from grinding their teeth or sleeping awkwardly. But when it appears during a cold snap, it is often a sign of circulatory strain or early neurological stress. I often ask my patients to pay attention to when and how this tension appears. If it happens repeatedly during cold drops, it should never be ignored. Head pressure, especially the kind that feels like someone is gently pressing down on the skull, is extremely common during sudden temperature changes. This is not a typical headache. It does not throb or pulse. Instead, it feels heavy, steady, and strange. It may worsen when stepping outside or when the indoor heating system makes the air too dry. This pressure sensation is often linked to blood vessels tightening around the brain, a sign that the body is struggling to maintain stable circulation. Short bursts of blurred vision are another symptom seniors brush aside. They might blame dry eyes or winter glare from the snow. In reality, brief blurs in vision can indicate that blood flow to the visual centers of the brain is fluctuating. Even a momentary dip in blood supply can cause these flashes. Excessive yawning might sound harmless, but yawning is the body's way of trying to increase oxygen to the brain. During winter, especially during sudden cold waves, oxygen levels in circulating blood can shift. Seniors may find themselves yawning repeatedly without feeling tired. This is one of the body's gentle warning signals that something needs attention. Irregular heartbeats are another sign many older adults dismiss during winter. Cold weather can shock the heart, causing it to beat irregularly or more forcefully. Many seniors attribute this to anxiety or stress, but cold is frequently the cause. A heart that is struggling to regulate itself under winter stress can lead to stroke risk if ignored. These symptoms appear subtle, but their importance cannot be overstated. In many cases, they begin 24 to 72 hours before a stroke occurs. They are the body's way of saying that circulation is unstable and that the brain may not be receiving the blood flow it needs. Winter disguises these signs by making them feel like common seasonal discomforts. That is why they are so dangerous. Awareness is your shield, and recognizing these clues early can prevent life-changing outcomes. sudden temperature drops and stroke risks. Cold weather, in general, poses challenges, but sudden temperature drops are uniquely dangerous. When the temperature falls quickly, the body cannot adjust fast enough. This rapid shift creates a shock to the cardiovascular system that older adults are less able to handle. Research from hospitals across the United States shows a clear pattern. Stroke hospitalizations rise significantly during abrupt cold snaps. These events are hardest on adults over 65 because their blood vessels are less flexible and their heart function is often already taxed by chronic conditions. During cold snaps, blood pressure spikes are common. When arteries tighten suddenly, pressure builds, and the heart must work harder to push blood through narrowed pathways. These spikes can last for hours or even days, especially if the cold persists. High blood pressure is one of the strongest predictors of stroke, and winter amplifies that risk. Dry winter air makes things worse. When the air lacks humidity, your body loses moisture faster than you realize. Seniors often drink less water during winter because they do not feel as thirsty. This dehydration thickens the blood even more, making circulation sluggish and increasing the chance of clots forming. Indoor environments can also contribute to stroke dangers. Homes that rely on heating systems often trap warm air without proper ventilation. Heavy, dry air strains the body, and poor airflow can make it harder for seniors to breathe comfortably. Many older homes struggle to maintain consistent temperatures, meaning the body works harder to regulate itself even indoors. Medications add another layer of complexity. Many seniors use medications that affect blood pressure, heart rhythm, musty, fluid balance, or circulation. Beta blockers, diuretics, antidepressants, and medications for anxiety can all alter the body's ability to respond to cold stress. Even over-the-counter medicines used during winter, like decongestants, can raise blood pressure or increase heart strain. These effects make the body more vulnerable during sudden cold snaps. There is one patient I will never forget, a 78-year-old woman who lived alone in a small house outside the city. During a harsh cold front, she noticed a pressure in her chest and a tightness along her jaw. She assumed it was just the cold air making her tense. She wrapped herself in blankets and tried to rest. She did not drink any water and barely moved from her chair all afternoon. That evening, she felt lightheaded and disoriented. When her neighbor checked on her the next morning, she was unable to speak clearly. She had suffered a stroke during the night. Thankfully, she survived and made strong progress in recovery. But she later told me she wished she had recognized those early signs for what they were. Her story reflects what many seniors experience during winter. Cold snaps are silent, quick, and unforgiving. They can catch the body off guard, pushing the circulatory system to its limits. When you understand how dangerous sudden temperature drops can be, you give yourself the chance to act quickly and protect your health before symptoms escalate. Before we continue, if this video is helping you understand your health, please subscribe, like, and share Senior Health Daily. It gives us the motivation to create more life-saving content for you. Prevention and winter safety tips. Now that we have explored why winter increases stroke dangers and how subtle signs often appear before a crisis, let us talk about prevention. Winter safety is not about fear. It is about awareness and small habits that protect your body in powerful ways. Staying hydrated is one habit that makes a significant difference. Seniors often underestimate how much water they need in winter. The cold suppresses the feeling of thirst, which means dehydration happens more easily. Even mild dehydration thickens the blood, making stroke more likely during cold snaps. Drinking water regularly throughout the day helps maintain healthy circulation, supports heart function, and keeps blood pressure more stable. Warm beverages like herbal tea or warm water with lemon can increase hydration comfortably without the shock of cold drinks. Safe warming practices are essential as well. Dressing in layers helps trap body heat safely. Stepping outside slowly instead of rushing into the cold allows your system to adjust gradually. Using scarves, hats, and gloves helps maintain warmth in areas the body protects most. Avoiding sudden exposure to freezing temperatures can prevent abrupt changes in blood pressure. Medication awareness is equally important. Many common prescriptions interact with cold weather in ways that increase stroke risk. Diuretics can cause dehydration. Beta blockers can affect how the heart responds to temperature stress. Antidepressants may influence circulation or body temperature regulation. Winter is an ideal time to review medications with a healthcare provider to ensure the body is supported during colder months. Blood pressure monitoring becomes even more important during winter. Cold weather spikes blood pressure more aggressively in seniors than in younger adults. Checking blood pressure regularly, especially during cold fronts, provides early warnings if numbers begin to climb. When patients track their pressures consistently, they can identify winter patterns and adjust habits accordingly. Lifestyle adjustments also play a role. Gentle stretching, light exercise, and short walks indoors help keep circulation moving. Avoiding strenuous tasks like shoveling snow can prevent overexertion and sudden heart strain. Taking breaks during winter chores, drinking water beforehand, and moving slowly after being indoors for long periods can protect the heart and brain. Caregivers have an important role in winter safety. They are often the first to notice changes in a senior's mood, energy, hydration, or behavior. Encouraging older adults to drink water, stay warm, and avoid unnecessary exposure to cold can prevent winter-related health emergencies. Understanding the early signs of neurological distress helps caregivers take action before symptoms progress. All these steps work together to create a winter routine that keeps seniors safe, warm, and protected from stroke dangers. Winter will always bring challenges, but with awareness and practical choices, you can navigate the cold season with confidence and peace of mind. As we bring this conversation to a close, I want to return to something that matters more than anything else. Your brain holds every memory, every story, every face you love. It carries the laughter you have shared, the wisdom you have earned, and the moments that shaped your life. During the winter months, when the air grows cold and the nights stretch long, the body speaks softly before it ever cries out. Those whispers are your invitation to pause, to listen, and to honor the signals that keep you safe. I hope you feel encouraged, not frightened. Early awareness is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. It protects your independence, your dignity, and your ability to live each day with confidence. Small intentional habits in winter can make an enormous difference. A warm drink, a slow stretch, a few minutes of rest before stepping outside, or paying attention to unusual signs can prevent consequences that change lives forever. I'm reminded of a patient who recovered from a winter stroke and sat across from me with tears in her eyes. She told me softly, "I wish I had known sooner." Her words have stayed with me for years. She taught me something powerful, something I want to pass on to you. Trust your body. Trust the subtle messages it sends. When you listen closely, you give yourself the chance to stay safe and strong. Thank you for being here with me today, for caring about your health, and for choosing to learn how to protect yourself during the coldest time of year. Your willingness to stay mindful, gentle, and attentive to your body is a reminder of how much your well-being truly matters. Stay warm, stay safe, and remember that your health is worth protecting every single day. If this message has touched you, please subscribe to Senior Health Daily, like this video, and share it with someone you love. Your support helps this community grow and continue to bring life-changing guidance to those who need it most.